Welcome back to the You Know My Voice podcast with myself, Kelli-Leigh. I'm interviewing the biggest voices in electronic music. And today's guest is Caribbean, Peterborough, Kent born.
Smashed it.
Amazing artist who's multi-platinum, written for artists like Macklemore. We've got George Ezra, Rag and Bone Man, Stormzy, worked with Tori Kelly and Rudimental. This incredible vocal artist and songwriter. Joining me today is Dan Caplen.
Hello.
Welcome to the studio.
I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you so much for coming in.
It's weird being so far away from you, but I like it.
It is, I know. We're just like...
Are we still in COVID times where we have to kind of...
Yeah, exactly. I know, exactly, for safety. Yeah. Thank you so much. We must say that it's very cute. You actually slid into our DMs, which I fully appreciate.
Yeah, I know. Because I watched the first season, I thought it was so good. And it's like giving that platform for writers to kind of come in and talk about it, which doesn't happen very often. It's just great. So,
I was so excited. I hit you back. I was like, yes, please, would you come in? And then had to stalk you. So you definitely...
I flew in just for this.
Yeah.
I'm doing a couple of sessions like, just
straight in. We've got to, you know my voice.
Yeah.
But you are like... It's absolutely incredible, an amazing songwriter, an artist.
And so are you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And we're going to get on to the big hits like These Days, which is done well over, is it 2 billion combined streams?
Yeah, about that. I'm trying, if every time I start counting them, I feel like a bit of an idiot.
Then count away. That's on my biography, mate.
There's a lot of zeros. I'm
There's a lot of zeros. I've achieved things. But we have to start with Baby Dan.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up? Where did this love of music come from? And your gift and your talent for writing?
So I was born in England, in Peterborough, but my mum and my dad lived in Hong Kong at the time. Wow! So I grew up in Hong Kong until I was about 5 or 6.
Wow!
And in the apartment there was a piano in the hallway. So I started playing there, and about 4 or 5 I moved back to the UK.
Yeah.
We had a piano in the house. My mum was like a massive Nina Simone and Lauryn Hill fan. Yeah. She gave me the education.
Oof. What an album.
I know. I've got a tattoo on my arm.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I was lucky enough to see her once, and I showed her the tattoo. She did not give a shit. Sorry.
I mean...
She's like, okay, cool, yeah, another tattoo of me, wicked.
That's classic Miss Hill.
Yeah, of course, honestly, it's quite cool. So I've been insulted by Lauryn Hill, like, that's pretty cool. That's sweet. I'll take that.
That's amazing. What an icon.
But yeah, I moved back to the UK, and my mum realised, she wanted me to get a good education. Yeah. She also realised I wasn't that smart.
Aww.
But I was really good at music.
Come on.
I got a music scholarship when I was about 6.
Wow. Wow. So you were rolling with some genius vibes then. Do you think you were a bit of a prodigy?
No. Far from that. But it was at Canterbury Cathedral, right? So I was a chorister there.
Oh, wow.
So from about 7 years old, I'd wake up every morning and I have to practice singing for an hour. Yeah. Practice cello, go to school, and then sing in the church after in the evening. So I did that for about 5 years.
Wow.
So it kind of gave me that instilled, you have to practice every day. Yeah. That. And then that scholarship led me up all the way to college. I played in the Portland Philharmonic Orchestra.
Wow.
Did some bits and bobs over there. And I realised I hated classical music.
That's a long time.
I know. Yeah.
What happened? Did we just one day mid-bow and you were just like, no, actually.
I was just like, I hate this.
You're like, love this.
Mozart is not good. No, Mozart's great. I'm not sure. It's not like he's going to be watching this podcast.
Yeah, he might. No.
But no. So I was in America. I went to college in America.
Whereabouts was that?
In Portland, Oregon.
Oh wow. Okay. So you've been traveling.
Yeah. I mean, I've always found more enjoyment in moving around than staying in one place. Right. But then when I was there, I started meeting rappers. Actually, the first time I met Macklemore was at college. Wow. Before he had Thrift Shop, before he had, the Grammys and all that stuff. And I went up to him after the show and I was like, I produce music. He was like, yeah, man, send me some stuff. And I never did because I realised that my music wasn't that good at that point. But I just got into the hip hop scene there. So I was doing stuff for E40, a lot of the West Coast rappers. And then one big point. I play the cello. That was my main instrument.
Yes, that's incredible.
I started doing covers and posting them online.
Wow.
And that's kind of how I started getting to my first notice in the music industry.
That's incredible. I love that you were like, send some stuff and you were like, yeah, cool, man, and you didn't. I did that with Fifth Standard, one amazing songwriter who I worked with, and I love his pieces.
Amazing.
And then he was like, I was like, I write and he was like, yeah, send me some bits. And at the same time, I listened back and I was like, No, it's not good enough. I said, that'll never do. And I was like,
yeah, it's like, you're really good. No, never mind.
Don't worry. I'm going to leave that. That's amazing. So, and just like, if we like hop, skip and jump, but don't fully yet, because we don't want to get there yet. But is that how then the Macklemore connection came about with the Rudimental track, or was that purely coincidental?
He didn't remember meeting me, which is fair enough. Like, it was... Yeah, it was
because you never sent them beats.
No, exactly. That's
amazing.
I could have got to the end goal a lot quicker if I had the balls to do it. No, but it was just I mean, Portland was quite a small area. He's from Seattle.
Yeah.
But there's just like there was loads of like up and coming rappers coming there, so that's how I kind of got into production and stuff.
Wow, yeah. What were you producing on? Ableton. Oh, okay, you're now Ableton guy. Yeah,
I used to when my shows I used to use Ableton to like loop the cello.
Wow,
it's kind of the Ed Sheeran era when like he was doing the loop pedal. I was doing the same thing with cello, which wasn't as cool.
Basically, Ed copied you.
Yeah.
We'll have words about that.
No. Actually, it gave Ed his career.
Well, if he starts coming out with a cello, then yes. I knew. So, okay, so Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
How did you end up coming back?
Well, if I'm honest, my visa ran out.
Oh, right, yeah.
I could make some really poetic, like, I really miss London. No, my visa ran out.
You're like, not this place again.
No. But like, it was kind of, I came back and I was like, I want to make music my career, but I don't know how to do it. So I ended up getting a job working for Deloitte.
Okay.
And I got fired really quick.
What did you do?
Well, I wasn't really good with numbers.
Okay.
Or Excel.
Yeah.
I was putting too many zeros in places. This is why I have accountants now.
It's not.
But kind of the same week I found out I had to leave, I got an email from who was it? It was from an A&R at Island Records.
Wow.
And it was because Jamal Edwards, R.I.P., had posted me on SPTV.
Oh.
So Jamal was the reason why I got my first break, really.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah, rest in peace, Jamal. Yeah. What an amazing guy.
I mean, he's such a legend.
He was, and he just had such an amazing energy. I remember the first time I met him, Rita Ora was filming some stuff, and I got brought in as like her like vocal like arranger and BV planner and blah 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 blah.
I'm joking. I love it.
But Jamal was just really cool, and it was like he noticed everyone in the room, because sometimes when you do stuff for major label artists and whatever, you're all just kind of side pieces to the artist.
Exactly. No.
He was like
he's all encompassing, man. We like before he passed away, we got to spend about 5 weeks together in St. Vincent in Beckway, actually.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we set up a little studio and we're just having pure vibes there.
Oh, wow.
So he was,
Have you ever met Parson James, just side note? Because he spent a lot of time in Beckway.
Because his stepfather's from Beckway,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, he was on the last
Yes,
seat.
last pod. Yes.
No, I think I met him. I met him at a Teddy Swimmer show.
Oh,
but we haven't worked with each other yet. Which
he's
think
amazing.
We should,
But yeah, you got that Beckway connection, which is quite sweet.
Vincentians get everywhere, man. We're absolute whores. That's not swearing, right? No,
that's not. That doesn't count swearing. Doesn't count swearing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you came back to London. You got this call from Island Records. Also, I don't know how you feel, but I'm a very big believer in the universe and timing, and it feels very poetic that you suddenly got this email the week that they were like, "You don't do maths. You can ship out."
It was perfect time because, like, I mean, I didn't, but I literally wanted to go, I'm going to go become a star.
Yeah.
Which obviously didn't quite happen like that way. But
you did.
Yeah. I mean, but that's when I kind of started doing music full time. And, from that email, actually, it took another 2 years until I actually eventually signed a record deal, which was with Atlantic Records.
Oh, wow.
Because like, there was, you know how it is. There's all a big hype. And like, I remember, the guy who runs Epic Records, he wanted to fly me out to America. It was all really exciting. Mm-hmm. And then within 3 months, everyone was like, let's see what happens.
Oh, God. So what were they trying to do? Make you an artist, so cello star with beats?
Yeah,
or?
I mean, to be honest, it's, as we know, like, label kind of want a full package already.
Yeah.
And at that point, I hadn't really done shows. I didn't really know what I was.
Yeah.
And, I was just a kid that played the cello and sing. So it took me kind of 2 years kind of touring and going to the studio and starting to work with people before I started realising like how I could get my own voice and sound authentically myself.
Yeah.
I mumble quite a lot. As for a singer, it's really bad, but I actually make sure I pronounce it a bit more.
Right, okay. So their plan was they flew you out there. Were they thinking they were going to like put you with collaborations with people or just make this...
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, like, my first session was with Chasing Status.
Wow.
Like, yeah, that was my first session ever in London.
Wow.
I turned up with my cello and he was like, don't bring that in. Saul was like, wait, what? Like,
that could be a vibe, though.
I know. I mean, I think we ended up putting cello on it. I mean, it was right there.
Wow.
But I remember, I was in with Saul and he was just like, what? Why have you just turned up with a cello? It's like, is that not cool? I remember my manager took me there, and I thought managers come to you with the studio every day.
Yeah.
And he was like dropping off the kid at school. I was like, you coming in with me? He's like, no. Just me and my cello. Like,
just write a
song.
song.
Hi, Mr. Status and Chase. How you doing?
That's amazing.
Would you like some Mozart?
So what did you write that day? Has it ever come out?
I didn't ever. No, it never came out.
Oh man, I want to hear this tune.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's my first session, so it wasn't probably the best song. No, I can't remember it.
Yeah,
but they pulled me in. And then from that they pulled me in. So it was like started working with Corin Bailey Ray on their stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's obviously the song will never come out. But I remember Chasing Status and Corin Bailey Ray's record. It sounded really cool.
That would have been really cool.
Yeah.
See, you need to release.
Go back into your hard drive.
Yeah, go back in the hard drive.
Find it.
That's the thing. Yeah. There's some gems in there that just need to find daylight because that is just,
I still go through. I mean, like, you know how it is. Like some songs sit around for years before they become that.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that because it feels like testament to the song.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it might just be that the production wasn't right at that moment because everybody was doing, you know, like even in dance at the moment because of Calvin bringing out the techno house thing.
I felt the whole music industry start moving the BPM up there.
Yeah, and it was just like, we're all fast now.
And then after that, no. No, too fast. Yeah.
I know. Yeah. There's kind of bridge. There's like this no man's land between house and drum and bass that people have been trying to. But anyway, so you did that. They flew you out there, and then it was 2 years later.
Yeah.
What was the first?
I did a cover of Blind by the Lights by The Streets. Mm-hmm. And then I made my own EP, and I went in to meet Bryony Turner.
Yes.
He's now the president of Atlantic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think by that point I kind of knew what I was, and she was like, yeah, let's do this.
Nice.
Yeah. So I had this EP, but then you kind
of felt like you did your own self-development in that time.
Yeah. I mean, I had a lot of help with. I mean, Justin Taylor who was we were talking about.
Big up Justin.
Yeah. No, Justin helped me a lot with kind of getting my first record deal.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Wait, I would ask, how long? When did you start in the industry?
I think my first session with Justin, we wrote a song called "Just for One Day," which was just before lockdown. And he's so sweet because I basically went to the wrong studio. For some reason, I thought we were at Tile Yard. And then he was in his studio, which was obviously which was in East. And I was so close to there as well from where I live, because I'm that way. So I went all the way, and then it was one of those days where, you know, when you're just exhausted and you're like, I will murder someone if anyone looks at me in the wrong way.
I have a 2-year-old, that's every day.
Yeah, that's every day. Yeah. And I just remember going to the studio with him, and he was so sweet about the fact that obviously I was like 2 hours late because I'd gone to the wrong flipping location. And then when I got there and he was like, I was like, actually, I just want to write a song about just needing a break. And we wrote Just for One Day, which I brought out, and I love the song, but I brought it out in lockdown and everybody had a break at that point. So the song did not hit like the way I thought it would hit.
Everyone's like, no, we're just taking it day by day.
Yeah, we're taking it day by day. It makes sense. And then we wrote another song called Be Alright, which I love, which came out as well.
Yes, and, I remember Be Alright. Yeah.
Oh, thanks. I love that record. And then we've got another one, which I definitely want to bring out at some point. But he's just such an amazing producer and writer and artist to work with, because I felt like he let me breathe in the room, do you know what I mean? And just create, and then found what I needed, which is quite hard to do as a producer.
Because there's always that certain amount, like, I mean, the best ones just let whatever happen in the room happen.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I find a lot when egos get in the way.
Yeah.
That you want to have ownership of it. It's like, who cares? Sometimes people do more in the room, sometimes people do less.
Yeah.
It's just about catching the right vibe on it.
Exactly. And sometimes it's hard. And like, I mean, like, I'm sure you've been doing it as well when you go into rooms, and if it's in the dance space, you're writing loads of top lines, and it's like, God, I like it. Oh no, it needs to be more like, and I don't know, they want it to be more like, I don't know, so, a Tiesto record, but the beat is Joel Corey. I'd like you just, you know what I mean?
Can you just make this a hit? You're like, cool. Yeah, I'll just
think about that.
Shit that out. Sorry.
Totally. Don't worry, you can swear. Let it out. You're trying to retain yourself, but it's not.
The amount of times that people have been like, you know that really big song you did? Can we just do that again? I'm like, yeah, of course. Yeah. If I could just repeat that every day, I'd be fucking millionaire.
Yeah, exactly. And I wouldn't be here with you. No. Not at all.
I'd be,
But yeah, so
I'd be in Barbados.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'd be doing this podcast via Zoom. You've got dodgy Wi-Fi. We're like, got run punch, I don't care. Yeah. Anyway, so you worked with Hoost, Justin, and he produced one of your first,
And then, I started touring. I started doing a lot of like back behind the scenes stuff as well. Like I did the strings for George Ezra's albums.
That's incredible.
Started opening up for Anne-Marie and Rag and Bone Man. Yeah. And that's when I kind of started getting into my game. I was like, I think I've got this.
Yeah.
And
So is that open up for Anne-Marie then? Is that when the Rudimental connection came in?
Yeah. Because my dad's from East London, so I'd known the boys for a little while, but then they were also signed to Atlantic at the time. But we used to hang out, and that's when obviously because she was signed to them at the time as well. So that's kind of how that connection started building up.
Right.
Yeah.
So you kind of just hung out. So how did we get into the studio to create your 2 billion streamer?
So that was one though. Well, I was in with Jamie Scott. John Ryan and Julian Bonetta. John Ryan, they were all there doing the One Direction album.
Right.
And they had one day where they kind of just put in this cello playing, like raspy cigarette smoking me. And they were like, I honestly, like, because I hadn't really had anything much out at that point.
Right.
Like, it was kind of like, they were like, we making loads of money with One Direction. Why have we got this guy in?
Right.
But we wrote that song. That's the first song we wrote. We wrote it in about 45 minutes.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah. And I remember John Ryan, because the post-chorus, it was John Ryan taking one of my ad-libs and making that into the, I know.
Yeah.
I remember he did that and he turned around and he went, guys, I think we got one.
Oh.
And I was like, that's so LA, but maybe.
So LA.
But the funny thing is, I played it to the record label, they're like, no, this is not good.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, I love hearing, I love this story, but I do, the shady part of me does love hearing record labels rejecting songs that end up being massive. Yeah. It's a bit like, come on guys.
You're like, and then when it does, like, I knew that.
Yeah.
I mean, to Bryony's credit, she, it was like, it was kind of sat in her emails, well, she listened to it, but it took her about 6 months to a year. And then she's turned around, she's like, no, this is a hit.
Okay.
And then that was when the interesting time there was then we're like, how do we make this?
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't quite have the platform yet.
Yeah.
And we know it was a big record. And so they were just like, well, Rudimental are looking for like a single for their album.
Brilliant.
Maybe this. And I remember like thinking, great.
Yeah.
And then they were like, we should get and that was what every label did. We should get a rapper on this.
Yeah, we should get a rap feature.
like I remember sitting in the label like, what about this is a genius idea. Yeah. Rapper. I was like, yeah, cool. But then they suggested Macklemore. I was like,
oh, okay.
I met him. Yeah. He doesn't remember, but yeah. He'll remember me one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's awesome. And then they added Jess Glynn as well because they needed another feature.
Jess was, I mean, this was the time when really it was trying to get the most numbers, and also like the platforms with. I mean, Jess had 6 number ones, 7 number ones at that point.
Wow!
And I remember coming in the studio and she was listening to it and she was so kind with it. She was like, I don't really take outside songs, but this song is really.
I love this song.
And we've been friends ever since.
Oh, that's wicked.
But yeah, it was one of those ones that it took about 2 years for it to come out.
Yeah.
Rudimental switched over. They did that Sun Goes Up.
Yeah,
with,
I love
James
that record.
I love that.
I love that song so much. Yeah. It's one of my favourites.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. I love that tune.
Yeah.
But it's the politics of record labels and timing. But I mean, I love that they kept your name on it though, because as the writer, that could have been like you said, you didn't have the platform that could be like, we're going to give this to. I mean, I swear to God, they're one step away from giving it to Ed Sheeran and just being like,
wow. just being like,
should we just make this an absolute hit?
Yeah.
Who's that guy? Nah,
that guy again. He's still on my bloody cello, my loop pedal. Now my song.
Yeah. Took it all.
Yeah. So I love that. Were you published as well at the time?
Yeah, I was signed to BMG. And
so is that how the LA session to write this even happened?
Yeah, it was in London.
It was in London.
It was in Surrey.
Ah, nice.
Yeah. No, I think it was through Bryony actually.
Oh, okay.
But she was working with them quite a lot, and she was just like, I really like this kid.
Yeah.
Like, just do a couple of days with him, or a day.
Yeah.
And then, just definitely life-changing day.
That's amazing. Yeah. Well, you wrote that song in 45 minutes. The other songs that you wrote, did they come out?
No, but I'm going to go back and listen to them now because I haven't thought about that for a while.
Yeah, exactly. There might be your next...
Round 2?
Yeah, let's go. And if you need me to sing on it, I'll be...
Straight in there. Yeah.
Shoot your shot, kids.
Yeah, I like that. Shoot your shot, kids. What was it? Shoot for the stars and end up in the moon. What? No, that's not how you say it. That was so far off. I'm meant to be a songwriter.
Land in the clouds.
Yeah, land in the clouds. That's it.
We could do this all day. But, okay, so anyway, so the song comes out, and this is obviously blowing up. So everybody's like, Dan Caplen, you've burst onto the scene.
Yeah.
Who is this guy?
It's like I've just come out of nowhere 6-7 years later.
Yeah. That's the way it works, overnight success.
Yeah, overnight success, yeah.
But how did you feel? Did you feel like you were getting recognised for your contribution into that record?
The thing is, right, it's like, because there was so many features on it, they kind of would just drop my name off it. Which is, I like, initially I used to get really annoyed because they'd be on the radio and they'd be like, featuring Jess Glynn Macklemore.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. No, and then just know me. Yeah. But like, which again, like, as soon as I checked my ego, I was like, who cares, man? Her voice is there. And then eventually I talked to the radio pluggers. I was like, guys, can you go tell them I'm also there?
Yeah.
And everyone's very kind. And they were like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But like, again, it's like that, when that ego kicks in, you're like, this is my records.
I don't think that's an ego thing. I mean, like when you've worked this hard and I did the same. I remember one day I was listening to the radio and Greg James, who seems like the loveliest person in the world, again was just like More Than Friends was playing. He was like, and that was James Hype. And I was like, damn, get it, mate! And I actually tweeted at him, and then he did reply just being like, oh, sorry about that. And I was like, sorry about that, thank you.
To be honest, I did the same thing as well.
Yeah, because you're like, you chase and you work for this opportunity, and then finally it happens and you're half that record or a major part of the record, but you're not mentioned. You're like, but this makes a difference.
And it makes, because like, it's just...
Because Dave's driving his van, I want him to know that I sang the record.
Where was the first, where were you when you heard that first on the radio?
Oh, that is such a good question. Oh my goodness. Do you know what? I can't remember. That for me happened so fast as well. It was like weird. I'd got in the studio with James. We were supposed to work on something else. And then he was like, I've got this record. Because I was like, I'm not doing any more covers, because I'd sang I Got You, I'd sang I Want to Feel, sang Love Too Deep, and like I would suddenly just be like, and these are all, Whitney and
it's all well and good, but like you don't want to be
seen as the cover girl. Exactly. So I was just like a no cover policy. And I'd like written Low Steppers Running by that point, and like I was just like starting to forge my way. And then when I got in the studio of James, he was just like he's like, I got this thing. And he'd basically ripped a YouTube vocal of Don't Let Go, but it wasn't the Vogue version.
What?
It's on Vogue, Don't Let Go.
That's the
And then he was like, I've got this tune. I was just wondering, because he was being tentative, because he knew I was like a no cover. And when I heard it, I went, yeah, no one's singing this but me. That tune's that's my...
absolutely smashed that vocal.
Thank you. No, do you know what? I love that. And then I love that song. I've sung it for years and I know it inside and out. And James produced on Ableton. But I produced on Logic and I produced my vocals.
Yeah, of course.
So, and he didn't produce vocals in that way. So we basically recorded the vocals in Logic.
Yeah.
Then I went through and I comped it all and I laid everything out and I made sure all the harmonies were in the right place. And then he took that a cappella and then he like sped it up and did what he needed to do. But yeah, same. It was just
such a banger.
I love that record.
I'm 100% listening to that on the way home now. That's so, yeah.
But yeah, it's just like you suddenly fight for that, and also having my name not on those other records that I sang.
Yes, of course.
It was like, this is my time.
Yeah.
And then to have your name missed out, it's actually, people don't realise, and this is why I started the podcast, is that...
And that's why I slid in the DMs.
That's why you slid in the DMs.
And another thing.
Exactly. That those little moments can change the projection of our careers.
Yeah, you completely, it's always that thing where you're like, what did I come into this for?
The radio pluggers not saying your name and then asking radio pluggers to
but it's like, it's like I didn't come into music to make money. It's great when you do.
Yes,
But then it's like what I really wanted is respect.
Yes.
Like, people have been like, oh yeah, you've dedicated your life to this craft, and then like, oh, it was him who did it.
Yes.
So that was the thing where I was kind of like. I think I didn't. It wasn't Greg James. It was one of the radio ones, and I was doing really polite.
Yeah.
And then the head of Atlantic Radio was like, "What the fuck are you doing? Don't mess with them like that." I was like, but all I'm asking for is to say my name, and they as soon as I said that, they were fine.
Yeah. And do you know what? I absolutely love radio, and I say that because in terms of my journey and fighting for myself and not being signed and having like my first ever record signed in 2021 and then like very swiftly didn't get my follow-up from Warner, like all these kind of stuff, it's been radio that's actually consistently backed me. And like as they've started like seen what I did and actually gone, we love your story. Yeah. And actually your song's great. And going through the specialist route and having people like Majestic, Mr. Jam, Dave Tracy, Andy K. Wilson, radio like Ariel Free,
massive supporters,
like,
in
massive
big
supporters.
places as well,
you know, like, and there's all these radios actually have helped make my career.
Yes,
and actually record labels and people go, oh, actually Kelli-Leigh's got some cool music. And actually for those people that, like you said, record label like, don't really hear it.
Yeah.
Like my song Unconditional last year, tried to sign it to a label, no label wanted to sign it. It's my first ever solo playlisted record on Radio 1.
And you're like, I think it's where you shut up.
But yeah, so I think radio are really sweet in that sense because they just get the sheets through. And
I mean, like this, you know, but like it's different now. But like you forget how important it was to get a DJ to champion you.
Yes,
and like that was, and like I mean, it's less so now, but I mean, it's still quite important. But the taste making part of it.
Yeah,
and that's the thing when like, you know, when you as the names you said, when you have people support you and know you, but like. They have to know your name. They have to know that.
They have to know your name.
That's the voice.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So then, did radio start saying it, and you felt like you started to see a little shift? Yeah.
I started gaining followers. Started kind of, and then you know from there. I mean, I remember the first week I went straight into the top 40, and I was like, I've made it. yeah. Mum, we're buying cars. we're going on holiday. Yeah, that was an error. Didn't quite work out.
It's a music business.
But it kept building, and then we got a weird claim to fame. We are joint with Moves Like Jagger with Maroon 5 for being number 2 for 9 weeks.
That's amazing.
It's really, I mean, it's kind of a weird boast to be like, I was number 2 for 9 weeks.
No, that's pretty huge. yeah.
And then eventually went to number 1. It was Drake's God's Plan that got in the way. Anytime I hear that song, I'm like, turn that off. Drake. Me and Drake were having real beef. He was unaware of the beef.
But
he had no idea what was going on.
And when you see him.
I was poking the Kendrick Lamar for that thing. I was like, get him. No, I wasn't.
But that's amazing. And then you got your number 1. So you've got your number 1.
Got the little ting, mate.
That's so huge. There's certain milestones in this business. There.
I've lost it though. I don't.
What?
But in between my London to I have to order a new one. But in between London and Barbados, it just went.
No.
Yeah. There's some Rasta man on the beach being like, I'm number 1. I'm like,
I love it.
Yeah.
There's fake Dan Caplen on TikTok. You've got to find him.
Donny Chaplin. Like.
Oh my God, I can't believe you lost it.
I know, it's bad. But like, actually, that reminds me, I'm going to order a new one.
Okay, please order a new one because that is huge.
Yeah.
So then obviously Atlantic, because you've just made an absolute global smash.
Yeah.
Where's the Dan Caplen records then?
And that's the thing. I mean, it was because it was my record. I started kind of, and I went into the age-old thing, trying to mimic what we've had already.
Yeah.
And that was an error. And like things like it was such a great time, but you know the pressure of that as well to follow up when it's like such a huge record. And so we like I put out after that song I put out 5 or 6 songs that year.
Right.
And got to the end of the year, we got Brit nominated, got Ivan Novello's, got all this stuff, but I wasn't happy with how things were going. Right. And then 2019, like kind of went in, spoke with Bryony, and it was such a lovely thing. We were like, look, we've had really good success here. Yeah. We had a good time. We've done more than most people are, but like, you know, this is the time when we part ways, and it was perfect because I needed that space, and I proved to myself I could do it.
Yes.
And I was just like, I've done this, but I also don't want to be like chasing something and just being unhappy my whole life.
Yeah.
So that's really when I kind of took a step back and started working as a writer more than as an artist. Mm-hmm. But now I switched back, I've got pulled back in. But like I think it's like the constant pressure that everyone puts on you and you put on yourself is never gonna make you create the best stuff.
No.
And nowadays more than ever. Like, I was just talking about earlier about Doechii, right? Yes. She's been around for a long time. Yeah. And she took a little step back and made this Denial's a River. Is that how? Yeah, that is. She just won best rap album last year. Only the third woman to ever win it.
I love that.
But she took a step back, and there's no. Like I say this to artists I work with. There's no shame in taking a step back and going like, right, let me rethink this.
Yeah. Because
if you do that and find that one thing, again, it's a game changer. And nowadays you have time.
Yes, it's true. Yeah. And I think that's the thing, you get made to feel like you don't have time because everything's moving so fast with socials and you need to be on it all the time.
You're not 16 and like TikToking and like, oh no.
Exactly. And I actually found her performance, yes, like you said, Stephen Colbert, so deeply inspiring. And when I saw it, I had a word of myself.
Yeah.
Because last year for me was the year that I kind of broke through, and it was the 10 years I sang I Got You. My voice been streamed over 1 billion times, blah, blah, blah. This is my time, and radio really backed that as well.
So sick, innit?
Yeah, I'm really proud of it. And then stepping into this year, and then my release this year, it was like, right, I want to be more visual. I want to do this. The first record I'm putting out, Broken Heart, it was like not straight dance, it's dance pop, which had a few like, that might not mean we won't get some specialist support. But then you're just like, yes.
Who cares? We move on. We can keep doing the next thing, but I'm proud of this.
I need to be me as an artist. And she really inspired me because I was like, she was so in herself, and that performance is just so absolutely, it's electric, it's classy, it's beautiful, it's deep, it's powerful. There's just so much that you feel.
And she did the choreography herself.
She did the choreography and she's herself, and she's an artist, and I was like, I need to step into that. And I feel like we don't get allowance to step into our artistic powers because of the fear of like, but does it match up to your last song, or is it going to be the next hit, or is it going to be
exactly. And the best thing, I've come this year going like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
Like, I know I've dedicated my life to this, and I'm gonna always work hard, studio every day, always gonna do something.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what it's gonna be. But as soon as I hear it and I make it, I'll be that's it. And it's having that the balls to have creative freedom and step back and do things outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Which is, so
again. Well, sorry, go on.
When you're like typecasted into dance music, and then like that's all you do all the time. Yeah. Eventually, you're just writing the same song. I think I wrote the same song about 50 times last year. I was like, I'd be like, every player's my manager, like, these are exactly the same one. I was like,
that's the same.
I'm kind of dialing it in right now. Phoning it in.
So after you obviously had that chat with Bryony and then you left Atlantic, is that when you decided like, got to move to Barbados? I'm going to take this time.
No. So that was during COVID.
Yeah. Okay.
So we March 2020 all locked down. Just first time I'd gone in the studio with Medusa.
Oh, cool.
So we wrote this record that I still think is an amazing record.
Wow.
And then
but that's one they need to release then.
Yes. Yeah. You know where it is.
Yeah.
Put it out. It's on a hard drive. It's a banger. But then we were, the Zoom session started happening.
Yeah.
And so I did a Zoom with me, the Medusa boys and Wayne Hector.
Oh, sick.
And we wrote a song called Paradise.
Nice.
That's done well. Did really well. It was the whole time it was meant to be my voice on it.
Oh.
And like, I was so excited. And then about a week before the which was fair enough to the label, they were like, we should do it with an artist on our label.
Oh.
So they put Dermot Kennedy on it, which and I love Dermot, and it made sense. Yeah. But that disappointment, I was like,
oh my God.
I was like, I hate this.
Yeah.
And I remember what a friend told me, like if you're lucky enough to like be able to afford it, that when something really disappointing like that happens, go on holiday.
Yeah.
And my mum was out in St. Vincent.
Yeah.
And I was like, the song went to radio. I think it went to top 5 in the UK. It went number 1 in Ireland. And like, I was like, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
I'm done. So I packed up my bag. I went to St. Vincent. I was meant to be there for 10 days. And I've been there for 4 years now. I've been in Barbados.
Wow.
Because I met my now beautiful wife and had a baby. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Congratulations.
I found my Bajan wifey.
I love that. Well, do you know what? That's really crap. But then at the same time, it was maybe meant to happen for a reason that you went there and then you met your wife and then you had your daughter.
Exactly.
So
it was, and like that's the thing, and no disrespect at all to Medusa or to Dermot.
No, of course. But it's a label
business
politics.
Wise, it makes complete sense. And no offense to Ireland, like. You can still be disappointed and understand why that happened. Yeah. But that was my moment. I was like, you know what?
Did you have a brief feeling of saying no?
Huh?
Did you have a brief feeling of saying, no, I want to stay on the record?
I did. I mean, I was like, you know, I wrote it, the chorus is like, I'm 1,000 miles from you and I, like parallel is 1,000 miles. It was about being so distant from everyone. And it was during COVID and I was like, this is me.
Yeah.
But then I heard Dermot's version. I was like, yeah, no, it's pretty fucking sick actually. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And that's the thing. But like it was that tangent like suddenly changed the trajectory of my whole life.
Yeah. Wow.
And so I'm based in Barbados. I set up a residential studio there.
Yes.
So we just had Rudimental there for 2 weeks.
Amazing.
And yeah, it's one of those things that I'm so lucky with my lifestyle that I get to travel the world and then go home to a place that's paradise.
Yeah.
And my daughters can go to the beach every day.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's like
that's real freedom.
Yeah. It's better than bringing her up in Kent, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, you could go to the beach near there, but it's not really the same.
You go to Whitstable, but not quite the same. Not quite the same vibes.
You could do like the crabbing.
I actually took her to Whitstable and I was like, look at the beach. She was like, no, Daddy. She's like, no. Yeah. She's like, no, that's not, because it's pebbles. So she was like, there's no sand. I was like, no, but that's still a beach. She's like, oh, no, it's not.
She was like, bruv.
Yeah.
Be serious.
I live in Barbados, bro. I'm your dad. Don't call me bro.
Oh my God, I love that. So moving forwards, from here, you've set up your studio in Barbados. What does Dan Caplen's next chapter look like?
I have no idea.
Also, because interject, you ended up having a Christmas record with Macklemore. I saw.
Oh yeah.
How did that happen?
That was wild, man. Because like it was December 10th, and he texted me. He's like, "Listen, man, this is a bit weird, but I've got this Christmas song where we haven't got chorus, and it's been sent around to quite a few people." And he's like, "Do you want to have a go on it?" And I was in with Pablo. And another guy that I can't remember his name. Sorry, just because I've got a terrible memory.
Mine too.
And then we wrote the chorus, and then the next day he was like, "Sick, right? That's done. I'm flying out to Seattle to shoot the music video." And I was like, "What?
Oh my goodness!"
And then literally the next day I was like, so I was like, by like within 12 hours of recording it, I was on a flight to Seattle to shoot the music video.
Oh my gosh!
Then whilst I was there, he was like, "You should just stay around here because we're gonna do the Ellen show." And I was just like, what? Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, call me Santa fucking Claus, man. I'm in. And it was amazing, man. Yeah. And that song still, it's like, as soon as it hits December 1st, my Spotify is all wrong, man. It's just Christmas time, like, everywhere. That's
I've got my Christmas EP. In 30 years' time, I will be Mariah. This is my game plan in life.
I believe it, man.
Yeah,
I believe it.
And every year it gets slowly bigger underneath the tree. This is 30 years' time.
Oh my God. The best thing about like Christmas songs is like, because there was a time, right, where it was really cheesy.
Yeah.
And now everyone loves that nostalgia.
I love it.
Like, this year, so many Christmas records came out.
Yeah, also because people want to hear something else. Yeah. Like, and move it on. Like, we've obviously got our classics, which we love to hear, but also we need to switch it up.
Like, Mariah, you know, you can relax a little bit. Give us some room.
In all due respect, love you, Queen. But we need to let a few more people through.
just a couple more. Come on.
I love that. Also, he left it pretty fine, cutting it to December 10th.
I know. So the funny thing is, the next year it got to like November 20th, 30th, and I was in St. Vincent at the time. He was like, we need to shoot another music video and redo this, because we did it like literally a week before Christmas.
Yeah, so
and so I shot my parts. He was in lockdown in Seattle, so he shot his on a green screen.
Nice.
And I was in St. Vincent, so I shot mine at the beach.
Obviously.
And he was just like, I sent him over the files. He was like, I hate you, dude. Like, he was just in his underwear doing a green room thing, and I'm just like in St. Vincent, like, no COVID around here, baby. Like, it was. I remember that phone call. He was like, this is a really cool video, man, but I hate you so much right now.
You're wrong. Don't hate play, I hate the game.
You can get on a flight too, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So, Dan Caplen, what is the next chapter for you looking like?
I mean, the main things, right, in my head right now is really building up the business in Barbados.
Yeah.
Because like there's nothing better than writing songs like in the city. Like, my studio's right by the beach. Like I had Rudimental over, and we had the best 2 weeks. We wrote. I mean, I think we wrote close to 40 songs.
Wow.
2 of them are very, very good. And and it's like I I came over here I felt like I was a part of the Barbados tourism board because I went to so many in Universal. Love it. Being like, hey guys, you any artists that want some time away from London? Come to Barbados.
Wow.
Yeah, and like, you know, it's something that I want to bring out, like developing artists.
Yes.
And give them a space, because if you're in London all the time doing the same sessions and the same thing, you can get the same results. And
yes.
Like, artists deserve to have some creative freedom outside of just in the London network.
Yeah.
And LA I think is sometimes, when people go there too early, it's daunting and it kind of knocks their confidence.
Yeah, totally.
So this is...
and also it's hectic because that freeway, Jesus.
Oh my... Yeah.
Oh my God.
I spent half my year there.
Yeah.
And I love flying in and I fucking love flying out.
Yeah.
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 But that's the thing, man. Like, and also because I've gone through the artist thing, and I'm still an artist now. That's the thing. You never give up. But to me, it's important when I'm with an artist to give them that chat and be like, you know what, it's all right. Don't listen to the label all the time, man. Like there's time that you have space. Yeah. And that's what I want that creative hub in Barbados to be.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Would you coming out?
Yeah, I'm there.
Mate,
please let me know the date. I am game. Yeah. Let us go. I mean, why don't we do a duet?
Yeah, just do it. I'm in.
Let's do it.
That was easy.
That was easy.
Right now?
Yeah, guys, we're going to leave.
You've got microphones.
I mean, you flew here. Why didn't I just flew right back with you? No, I would absolutely adore to do that with you. I just think you're incredible. And also, like, this is the first time we've actually met in real life. And your energy is so infectious. I would love to create with you.
Yeah, and same with you. I mean, I think we'd have a great time. I think I as a late wedding present to Justin, I gave him the studio for free, and so he came over with his wife, and they had it for 2 weeks.
Oh, I love.
But we should fly Justin out as well.
I would love that. I love him so much. That would be sick. All right, I'm game.
Oh mate, we should do it.
Let's do it. Just make some tunes.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Call him. Well, let me wrap you up here first. Yeah. So we don't know what it's going to necessarily be, but there is going to be Dan Caplen, the artist project.
Oh, sorry, that's the most important thing. I've got an EP coming out.
Well, there we go. That's what we're talking about.
You know this whole promotion thing? It's not from me, my friend. It's not from me. Yeah. And that minor thing of having I've done a...
And you releasing that independent?
Yes. I've done an 9-track EP.
Yeah.
And it's like something that I'm really proud of.
Yes.
And it's a bit of dance, a bit of soul. We just had my first song come out, Lost the Feeling. Nice. Which got a really good sync as well, which is like, amazing. You know, I think in this world now, we have to find ways to make money anywhere, and sync for like aspiring artists or for independent artists is so important. Yeah, James Blake just posted something about it. He's working with my friend Cello in the US, and like if you are able to get a sync in the right placement, that's going to help pay for all your promotion for the song. So you're already starting off in the green. Yeah, because that'll pay your production fees, that'll pay for a bit of a marketing budget, and just, you know, rather than the old school way of signing a record deal where you're just, as soon as you sign, you're in the red. Yeah. This is a way for independent artists to be able to build something up. Yeah. I just sound like Mike Tyson. Build something up. Yeah. And yeah, so that's me for this year. Oh, I'm so excited, man. Yes. The thing is, like, when you're really proud of the music, promoting it is not that hard. Because you're just excited to put it out. I was up last night watching the Grammys and editing videos, and I was just like, because I'm kind of doing very DIY. Yes. And I love video editing. I taught myself to do it. It's so much fun. Yeah. And it's another creative way. I have an on and off relationship with social media. I mean, mainly off because I hate it. Yeah. But once I kind of this new kind of fresh breath of fresh air, and coming into this year, I was like, stop! It's a privilege to be in this job anyway. Yeah. Stop being a little bitch. Get on with it. And just post. And also, nobody cares. Yeah. But I think that's the literally you've nailed it there, because I think that's the thing. We have to take back control as artists to do it the way we want to do. Yeah. So if you're posting something because you love it and you want to post it because it's your time to post it and it feels good, do it. Instead of being like, oh my God, it's 4:00 and I haven't done the algorithmic post of the blah, blah, blah. Because then you also look at it and you create, and then if you don't get the engagement, and it's like, whereas if you're actually just putting out, I mean, this is also a conversation I've been having with myself. And I can sense that. Yeah, exactly. You're just come on. But yeah, exactly. I just had to have a word with myself as well, and just be like, actually, it doesn't mean. I mean, there was that whole thing like you have to post 3 times a day. Yes, but also people.
will start less engaging anyway, unless you end up being Taylor Swift levels.
Exactly.
And so it's more like, I want to post this because I want to look at my feed and be like, yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's me as an artist. So,
and that's so important. I mean, and again, like I can't remember who exactly. I think Mark Karen at APG was talking about this, and it's like, I think it was called the 3-hour rule. It's actually now, you know, the TikTok is very important still, like this, but there's also doing things like this where there's long form, where people actually like get to know you properly. Yeah. And then and that's how people engage with you as an artist. Because like posting these cool videos is all well and good, but does that really show who you are? Yeah, exactly. Does it show that I'm fucking hilarious?
Yeah, he's hilarious and talented. Get this man his own TV
swear
show.
Way too much.
And he swears way too much.
Yeah, like a sailor.
Like a sailor. And this will never be played on BBC.
No, that's a very good point.
No, joking. But no, you are amazing. And the EP's coming out, so people need to come and listen to that and find you and follow your journey, listen to the music and save it and just see where your path goes. Because I mean, it's exciting, man. It's exciting.
This is a time, like I think artistry's coming back. Like I think there's no rules to this stuff. Like I've seen things popping off that had been around for a long time before. Yeah. And it's just, I think it's getting rid of the overthinking. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, actually, if anything, my wife says I don't think at all. I should maybe start thinking a little bit.
Think a little bit more.
But like, no, I think that's the thing. Is like, it's exciting now. Like we have the world at our foots.
Yeah, we're our footsies.
Footsies.
What else is our footsies?
The world's our footsies.
The world's at our footsies. We shall swim in the footsie sand. Yeah. No, but I get what you're saying. And you're right.
Sorry, what's on your footsies? That's so,
oh my God, you cracked me up.
Yeah, this is never airing.
Do you know what? Yeah. I'm going to wrap it up here.
It's over.
You're killing me. Yeah. No, but honestly, Dan Caplen, thank you so much for coming in and sharing your story, and also inviting me to Barbados because
it's on record now.
It's on record. You know I'm coming. Yeah, and also we'll have to do another podcast when our song comes out, and then it gets 2 billion streams.
Yeah, and Mariah Carey's like,
and Mariah Carey's wants to be in on it. She wants to feature.
Thank you for having me, and like I think, as I said, I listened to the first season. I think you've given this platform to artists and songwriters and just people to give people a bit more of understanding of how we get to where we are. Yeah. Really important. So I think, thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming in.
That was the sweetest I've ever done.
Thank you, Dan Caplen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.